Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome once again to another beautiful day here at VGM Academy. My name is Dan Holzman, if you don't know, and I'll be your host for this afternoon / evening / morning, depending on where you are in the world. So today is all about celebrating the challenge that this community, this amazing community, just completed called the 7 Days of VGM Challenge. If you're not familiar with the challenge, if you're watching this later, or if you're just popping in because I've emailed you incessantly about it today, this is a challenge that promotes daily creativity. That's the main spirit of this challenge. It's showing up every day and putting new ideas out there and just getting used to that idea generation mechanic in your brain, and not worrying so much about editing and perfecting things. Having said that, some of you go absolutely bonkers and produce really amazing stuff within the course of a day, every day for 7 days straight, which is amazing. And this broadcast is all about just celebrating you and all the music that you are putting out there. So I'm super excited. I see some folks in the chat here over on Twitch and YouTube. Let's see. Hello from Boston. Yeah, Catherine, we're representing up here in the Northeast. Hold it down. Let's see. I see lots of VGM Academy members here. I see Mike. I see Virginia, a new Academy member. Welcome, Virginia. Glad you could join us. I see Catherine, who's also a member. Let's see. Fotis is a member. I also see Aaron Young, who's been crushing these challenges for, I don't know, feels like almost a year now. Austin Smith, welcome. Let's see who else we got. A lot of people. Stephen Rader, another member. All sorts of fun folks here in the chat ready to go. So if you haven't yet, see some people doing it already, but drop in the chat where you're from in the world, because it's always kind of exciting to see where everyone is. I'm kind of outside of Boston, myself, up in New England. Yeah, so VGMA represent. Oh my goodness, I just realized I'm on Wi-Fi instead of Ethernet. Uh-oh. All right, we're gonna remedy that in just a moment, but hopefully won't interrupt the stream. Seems like we're holding down on the Wi-Fi right now, but I'll plug that in just a moment. So let's see. We got a few folks from LA. We got Munich. We have Iowa, Russians that live in Toronto. We have, let's see, a new member. Yeah, Jordan, what's up? From Charleston, South Carolina, Memphis, Tennessee, Wales, Morgantown, Sweden, beautiful country. Los Angeles. Yep, awesome. Cool. Sunny for once, Michigan, Finland, and Sweden. I took a trip to both of those places once. It was great. Got Fotis holding down Greece for us over there. North Carolina. This is amazing. Awesome. So, hey, another Massachusetts. This is fantastic. We'll have to talk. So anyways, I am about to get started, and we're going to go through in order, day 1 through day 7. But this week's challenge was a little bit extra special because we had a really special theme. David Wise, the legendary composer behind such hits as the Donkey Kong Country series and one of my favorite N64 games, Diddy Kong Racing, and several Battletoads installments and all sorts of other things. He is, I mean, just look at the list that he has composed for. It is a very long list. David has been working on video games for about 30 years, and he and his partner, Kev, they have decided to create this new project called Salamandos, which is sort of a collectible album with beautiful artwork and amazing music by David, and that's coming out this month. And David will be joining us a little bit later on the stream to pop in for a while. And yes, Diddy Kong Racing in the comments. I see that, Steven. Yes, one of the best. And he'll be joining us to listen to some of your music, which is super exciting. And then on the 23rd, which is next Sunday, he'll be joining us for another live broadcast where he will be actually giving a masterclass. He'll be listening to member music from this challenge and giving them critique live on the air. So this is a nice opportunity for me to get out of the way and let someone like David and someone like a member of our community talk face-to-face about their music, get feedback, and help them grow as a composer. Super exciting. More about that later on, but also more about the Salamandos project that David's going to tell us about when he hops on in a little bit. So who's ready to listen to some music? Yes? Good. All right, cool. One quick note before we jump in as well. The last couple of times, we've had a couple of audio issues, especially involving trying to get stereo sound to work. So I am recording this natively on my computer. However, unfortunately, the broadcast, due to a limitation in the streaming platform, is not going out in stereo. So I'm not going to try to wrestle with it on the air because I've just got that straight answer from the provider that it's just not working right now. So I'm going to record it and I will upload it later for folks to be able to listen to it in stereo later on. So if it's coming through mono, it's working as intended for now. Alrighty, let's do this. There is so much electric guitar today. It's going to be nuts. I'm so excited. This is a very energized challenge. People were nailing the vibe. Phil, yes, appreciating the European-friendly time. I feel like this is a good middle ground to get as many people as possible. It's like 11 a.m. for those West Coasters in the U.S. and Canada, but it's also like not super-duper late for our European friends and beyond. Got Sean over there. Yes, Sean is probably appreciating this time zone friendly time as well. All right, let's get started. We're going to start with our first track. This is from day one of the challenge. The first day of the challenge, was the daily prompt was about a title screen. So remember that this is like for like a kind of like a Battletoads spirited game. It's kind of like a beat 'em up. Even though we're not really scoring a game, we're scoring this awesome project. But the characters are similar. There's obviously going to be combat. The characters are not super serious. They are salamanders that are infused with all sorts of fighting and technology power, and they are ready to defend the world from evil. And so we're going to just jump right into this title screen for this Salamandos vibe. So here is Christian Vajay. He's going to start us off today. Let me just get the good old screen share going. And I'm going to make sure that I'm sharing the audio because sometimes I forget to do that. Let's see. All right, good. And as always, I always appreciate that if you just give me a quick thumbs up in the, or any emoji really, any positive emoji in the chat once I push play, just to make sure that the audio is coming through. That'd be fantastic. Otherwise, you'll just see me sitting here dancing by myself, and that's not nearly as exciting. All right. Here we go. Kristen Vajay, day one, Salamandos title screen. All right, that was Christian Vajay, Salamandos title screen. An awesome kickoff to today. I love all the positivity in the chats. My wife is also on today. Holly Wife is my wife who is instrumental in preparing for this broadcast. So kudos to her and all that she does to help out. So if you want to show some love to Holly Wife in the chat, she deserves it. But yes, love the energy. Super awesome energy. Great way to kick things off. Great sounding synth. Yeah, the synth is awesome. Wobbly sounds. Yep, totally love it. Awesome. And so great way to kick things off. Totally nailed the vibe, in my opinion. Really, really excited. So it looks like we have a special guest who is on the bench ready to join us here. Mr. David Wise has entered the chat.
Hello, how are you?
David, I'm doing excellent. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are super excited.
Oh, cool. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So we just kicked things off with our first track, but before we dive in with any more music, we'd love to hear, why don't you tell us a little bit about Salamandos, as much as you can, about the project and where people can find more about it, and I'll put a link at the bottom of the screen and things like that, because I want people to hear this stuff. The trailer is amazing. I'm really excited about it.
Okay. First of all, it kind of came about because Kev and I, we were doing quite a few shows around the globe, as we do, and people were always asking us, do you have anything we can buy to sign? And we just didn't really expect it, really. You'd rock up at these events. People look after you very kindly and very nicely. And I thought, well, I haven't got anything to sell, really. We're just sort of here as guests, signing stuff, if anyone has anything. But so it kind of came around from there. So we thought, well, rather than, we were going to do an album and Kev was going to do the artwork. And for those who might not know, Kevin Bayliss did all the artwork for Rare Limited when it was sort of in its heyday. So he did the Battletoads, he did Diddy Kong, and he redid Donkey Kong and those sorts of things, and Killer Instinct and many, many others. Very talented artist, and we've known each other forever, really. So we decided that we'd do a project that was not really a video game, but it was influenced very heavily by video games. So Salamanders is shamelessly based on amphibians, like perhaps Battletoads or something. So we based it on salamanders, really, and it's called Salamandos, as in Spain or Spanish, that's two, and it's me and Kev. So that's where it comes from. So we were going to do an album and do it the old-fashioned way and print some vinyl, have a very nice cover that Kev did, but it was taking us forever because of the world situation in the world. It was just impossible. We couldn't actually meet up to do it. So we decided that we would do the next thing we're doing is like a virtual comic, very much like the anime type readable books that you get, but in comic form. So we're going to release one of those every 3 weeks, starting in a couple of weeks' time. And it's basically artwork by Kevin, and the music is by me. And we're doing it that way. But it's more than that. It's more of I suppose, an indulgent project from me and Kev, really, about video games and things that influence. And this is just one of many, many ideas that we've got. So there's salamandos.co.uk. And we've called ourselves Dave and Kev Creations, or dkcreationslimited.com is our website at the moment.
Awesome. And I will include this in a link following up the broadcast so people can watch the replay and they can get directly those links to go right to the site. You'll be able to watch the trailer there as well, and it's just going to be I think it's going to be an amazing project. I really love the new format. I think that's a great idea, and I'm super excited for it. So congratulations.
Well, it's nice to do something that is our thing rather than doing something for somebody else. And it's because it's based on a lot of the stuff that we used to do, and it's refreshing to do it for us rather than for somebody else.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna just dive into a little bit more music here, and this next track is from a composer named Jonathan Couch, who we're still in day one of our challenge. So we're talking about the title screen still right now, and this is Jonathan's day one. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up so we can all give it a good listen here. Let me just make sure sure we got it going here. I'll bring the screen back in. And here we go. All right, so day one, got a little title screen vibe in there, got a little electric guitar in there right away. It's pretty awesome. We have a lot of electric guitar today, David.
That's good. I like electric guitar. What I really like, though, is the electric guitar that really excites me for some bizarre reason, probably because I did a lot of it in my day, is not when it's not electric guitar, when somebody's actually played or emulated guitar. And I think it forces the person to be a lot more creative about trying to emulate guitar. It doesn't sound like guitar, but it's definitely got its own vibe and its own kind of character. So I like things like that. I think they're pretty cool.
Well, if you liked that, then you will definitely like this next one. This is actually a VGM Academy member, Catherine Capozzi, who is in the chat over on Twitch by the handle Axe Monkey. And she is not only an incredible composer, but also a fantastic guitar player.
Wow.
So she always makes it a little tough to pick her between her tracks. So yes, there she is. C'est moi. It's her. All right, so let's fire it up and let's listen to this one. This is gonna just step back, kids. This one's got a little bit of fire to it. Here we go.
Very nice.
Woo! Yeah. Not bad for a day's work.
Absolutely. What the only thing I change about that is the actual main guitar riff, not the solo, because the solo sounds great as it is. I just shave off some of the reverb to bring it out to the front, and then it would be a nice contrast with the lead guitar.
Awesome.
Just to give it a bit more, get more punch. But yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, yeah. Catherine, whenever she really leans into her guitar strengths, I get very excited because she, as you can hear, is an exceptional player. So, super great track. Really loved it. So, thanks so much, Catherine, for sharing your music with us during this challenge.
Indeed, thank you.
Fantastic. All right, so we're just gonna keep it rolling here. So this next one is by Joel Blanco Berg, and Joel in a post he explained that this is his first time ever writing rock. And either he's a complete liar or he is just exceptionally suited to the task. So here is Joel's title screen entitled "The Band is Back Together." Here we go with Joel's music. I really loved this. Had kind of a Mega Man X Super Nintendo vibe for me, and I really enjoyed this one. Here we go.
Yeah, nice vibe, that one.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Really like that one. Oh man, yeah. First time writing rock, didn't do too bad. I don't think.
No, not bad at all. The only thing I'd suggest is on the guitar is perhaps putting a bit of delay, and it'll make it sound a bit creamier then.
Nice.
And just lift it because the riff's nice and dry. It's really punching home. So just to give a bit of lift to the actual solo would nicely sit above it.
Yeah, I think that there are so many awesome guitar solos today that I think that anything anyone can do today with these tracks to just make those guitar riffs shine is going to probably do everyone a good service, because there's just a lot of really cool guitar work today. So awesome. And I really appreciate that, we have you here again, because I think that hearing your responses to these things, is invaluable to people. I think that hearing this sort of first impression feedback is super important to a developing composer. So thank you again so much for being here today.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. All right. Someone said it has DuckTales vibe. Like, I think we're talking original, like NES DuckTale vibes. Is that what we're? Yeah. That was a great. That was a great soundtrack as well. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's keep it going here. So this next one is from another Academy member, Stephen Rader. His is a slightly different character than what we've sort of heard so far, but this will be our last day 1 track, and then we'll be moving on to our day 2 prompt. So here is Stephen Rader's day 1. Here we go. That one's nice. It's definitely a little bit different, a little sassier, I think. A lot of fun.
It's got a nice retro vibe there, hasn't it? So I kind of like that. It's a bit Starsky and Hutch almost.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of fun. Awesome job, Stephen. Great. Again, and I'm always blown away. When I originally conceived of this challenge, David, I was thinking like I even made people like a PDF workbook with like 1 or 2 lines of staff, like just music staff, to just sketch out melody ideas. And this is the kind of stuff that people started coming out with every day.
Well, that's great. I also just thinking about that as well. A bit of funky wah guitar as well would sit nice with that as well, just to go with the vibe of the brass, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, Stephen, get on the brass. All right.
Absolutely. And if you haven't seen it already, go and check out Starsky and Hutch from the 70s. I was very young then, but it made a lasting impression. My parents used to watch it, so we were kind of forced to watch it when you had one TV in the house, because things have changed since I was very small.
Yeah. Well, what about that? Just curious. What about that? Like music, kind of just sort of really stuck with you.
I guess so. Yeah. Obviously, when you're very young, music does have a big hit, doesn't it? It's very influential. But I listen to everything and enjoy most types of music.
Awesome. All right. So this next track, we're gonna transition now to day 2 of our challenge. And for our next track, this was a character selection theme, was what you'd picked for us, David. And this is like the part of the game where I spend an embarrassingly long amount of time, because I get this emotional connection where I feel like which character I pick really makes a statement about me. So, but we kind of thought about this as like for a beat 'em up game, like something like Battletoads, it would be kind of a quicker ordeal. You wouldn't have
probably a quicker experience.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't have like that 80-person roster like Smash Brothers. Yeah, exactly. Like there's 3 Toads. Choose one. There's 5 Salamandos, right? Five main.
I think there's probably a few more now. I think we're up to about 12 or 13.
Oh, awesome! Great.
So yeah, things have moved on, but you'll get to see them in a few weeks. So
all right, Collectible action figures. Just putting the idea out there.
So that's good. We have many ideas. It's just making them come to fruition.
Yes, indeed. All right, here we go. Here is our character selection theme. This is from E2. Here we go. I feel like that would have paired kind of nicely with that last one, actually, myself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely character select. What I would say about using a saxophone sample, because it's notoriously hard to get a convincing performance from, but it needs a lot of volume and a lot of pitch shifting and stuff like that, because the sax is very fluid. It's almost one note. When you're playing the sax, you can slide all over the place. So I would, it's nice to have those staccato notes in there, but then also complement that with some nice sliding around. But it does take, obviously, if you're only putting together something, if you've only got a limited amount of time to actually get a melody to work where it sounds convincing, it takes hours, and that would take longer than the actual track. But it's nice. I like saxophone.
Yeah, me too. That's one instrument for me personally that I'm never going to try to play because I don't want to ruin it for myself listening to it. You know what I mean? That's like, I just love that sound so much. I don't know if I'll be able to emotionally cope with like the thought of me butchering what that sound could be for a couple of years.
I was quite late to the party with the saxophone, and I still feel like a complete novice when I come to playing it. And it took me 5 years to actually get a decent tone out of it. And I came in because I used to practice at Round. I'd get in there early, I'd cycle in, and I practice in the morning, I practice at lunchtime, and I practice every evening. And I did that for 5 years. I was so desperate to actually play the saxophone. And then one day it went like that, and suddenly it sounded okay.
It's amazing. Yeah, I teach beginner violin, and I know, like, I just teach well, and I know enough to stay ahead of the kids, and I know that just like the work that's going to go into me getting a decent tone out of that. I know I just don't have the time for getting that tone, but I know I can now appreciate how difficult it is to get that beautiful tone. So for any string players out there,
I think it's the same though for vocals, isn't it? As well, or any wind instrument or brass instrument. It's just focusing on the actual delivery of the air and making that constant. And it takes a long time. It takes a lot of recording yourself, listening back.
Yeah, that's what I was trained on. The voice was my primary instrument in college, and that was a long and painful process to get a decent tone. So, not like guitar. I feel like guitar is a little bit quicker to be able to get a good tone.
I think so. Although obviously there are millions of guitarists, aren't they? And and it just seemed to me that for a guitar, I mean, like somebody like Steve Vai or Luke Cather. People like that, they've just got this kind of, and you can tell they've worked at it for years before they actually got anywhere. And it's those slight differences that make all the difference.
Yeah, the subtleties and the control and what you're not doing by accident with the guitar. I feel like is what really separates people. So yeah, awesome. This is I love all this conversation happening here. Too many guitar. Fotis says too many guitarists, sir. You watch it, all right?
Yeah,
but then he followed up with Steve Vai as a genius, so he's trying to recover. So that's good.
Yeah, and who's the other guy? The guy who taught Steve Vai, Satriani. That was it. Yeah. I mean, he's got an amazing tone. Really cool.
I really liked Stevie Ray Vaughan's tone as well, and just his like note choices were really awesome. But
absolutely,
yeah. Alrighty, we're gonna move along here to another day 2 entry. Again, we're still in character select land. And Mike says he thinks I can learn sax. That's very kind of you. I will record myself trying to learn sax and send it to you, Mike, and we'll see if you still agree. So here's Jake Shields, aka Metaflect. This is his character select track from day 2 of 7 days of VGM. Here we go. So there's Jake. What do you think? I thought that was pretty
meaty sound there. I like that. And I also like the dynamics as well. Dropping the guitar and just having the bass. That's always a nice touch.
Yeah, that was a fun one, and I love all the supportive comments in the chat. I was able to pop up a few of them on the screen there, but folks watching really loved it as well, which is a great data point. If everyone else loves it, you're onto something. So keep it up.
Yeah, it's good. I like that one.
Awesome. This next one, actually, I like this for a couple of reasons. This is from Christy Roller. Christy, are you here? I thought I maybe saw your name earlier in the chat. I don't know. Christy, if you're here, say hi. And Christy took a little bit of a different take for the character select screen. It actually reminded me of the character select screen from Diddy Kong Racing, which is one of my favorite games of all time. It is super fun, and I loved that when you would move the cursor from character to character, you would get a different version of the same kind of tune, which for me as a kid, it was just always a lot of fun to just kind of just flip back and forth and spend some time on that character select screen. Just sort of hearing all those different iterations of
technically we had 2 MIDI files playing together there, so we could have 32 different channels. Not that we could play 32 channels, because I think the polyphony was probably stretched at about 24 max, and we were just flipping, on-off switches really, and scaling, doing a bit of scaling and going between the different ones. But it was great fun to do, and the whole team loved making that game. It was just such a blast. It only took us about a year, and it was one of those few occasions where you really look forward to going into the studio or the office every morning, and you get there really early, and everybody else was there as well, and we'd be there until about 8 o'clock at night and go home and do it 7 days a week. But it had a really good fun vibe for the whole development cycle. It really was just a blast, that one.
That was inherently, I think, one of the most fun games, just for all around. Everything about that game was just super fun. I can't believe it only took a year. How many people were working on it?
Not many, 12 to 16.
That blows by. That's amazing. Well, you all did a great job. I spent so many, even after finishing the game, just enjoying the just flying around in a plane and enjoying the world. I just remember spending so much time doing that. So
cool. I mean, I think what we're all trying to do is just make the biggest cliche of cliches. And you've got that with the music, you've got that with the graphics as well. If we're going to put something in a dinosaur world, what can you have? Let's have some big skeletons from dinosaurs kind of hanging around that you're going to drive through. And what do they sound? They probably sound like marimbas and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And
I love it was Whiz Pig, right? Was the
that's
background?
right. Yeah. And it was just cheese all the way, but in the most delightful way. And we had a real blast making that one.
It was definitely came through. That's for sure.
That's brilliant.
All right, so this is Christy's. She wrote hers, and she gave sort of those different tastes for each character. As you highlight the different characters, you get the different screens. And I think she put the name in the Facebook, the names of all the characters that she kind of envisioned in her head in the Facebook post. But here it is. Here we go.
Good. Very nice. I love the retro feel it's got as well. It's almost Zelda-esque in places, isn't it?
Yeah, and I love that last chord too. That was really nice.
Yeah, so it's very nice. I like the way you've gone from she's gone from the kind of strict 4/4 into then the triplets as well, and then back. I like that kind of variation. It's always nice. It always draws a listener in when we hear things like that.
Yeah, that could have worked as well, I think, really well for a sort of like almost like an overture or like kind of like the in-game trailer where if you like leave the title screen running too long, then it like sort of shows off all the different characters. I kind of got that vibe hearing it like linearly all the way through like that too.
Sure, and it was a cool touch using very old school types of sounds as well.
Yeah. Well, great job, Christy. That was awesome. So we're gonna move forward to day 3 here. This is by Dave Allen. Now, day 3's prompt was that we're finally kind of getting into the fighting. So this is like stage music, fists, match fists. Everyone's getting ready to throw down with their chosen Salamando. Except for me, who's probably still on the character select screen, angsting over my choice. But everyone else is probably in, ready to go. So here we go. Here is Dave Allen's fight theme. That one makes me smile.
It's a nice thing. It doesn't sound to me like fighting. It sounds to me like you've done the game over. You've lost a life, and you're kind of hanging around waiting to go to the character select screen or ready to try and fight again. So it's kind of got that waiting around and anticipation type vibe to me.
Yeah, I think though that if you were to take a track like that and just play around with the instrumentation, even you could change that. Like the bones are there to make
completely.
it sort of a very different track if you wanted to. Which I think you could do. You could probably find places for a few different versions of a track like that.
Definitely.
But I love the energy, and I love, even though kind of like you said, piano and strings by themselves don't necessarily scream "let's get into a fist fight" to me. That combination was really enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah, I think what was nice was starting with the piano and with it being quite dry, and then when the strings come in, they really make an impact, don't they? They really lift the track up at that point.
Yeah, super punchy. All right, so excellent job, Dave. All right, we're going to move right along. This one comes from over on Twitter. This is Isaac Viers, or Viers, excuse me. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And this is his day 3. Let me just make sure that I'm not muting it on Twitter. There we go. Muted music is nowhere near as fun to listen to. All right, here we go. Here's day 3 from Isaac. Uh-oh. Let's see if we can get that to be a little happier for us here. Here we go. Ruh-roh. I'm going to pause that. I'm going to let that buffer itself. We're going to jump to the next track. We'll pop back over to this one in just a moment. So let's hop on over to our next track while that one hopefully buffers. Twitter's apparently having a little bit of trouble. And this one is from an Academy member, Kirill, who I got to give Kirill credit. He is one of your biggest fans. And it was his idea originally. He was the first community member when I said, who do we need to bring on as a guest? Who do you folks want to hear from and want to see? And he very loudly shouted your name from the rooftops, and everyone really got behind that idea, and we're excited to have you here. So Kirill is in the chat here.
Thank you.
This is his "Shall We Level That Battle" track. Let's give it a listen. Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong tab. I'll have to reset the screen share. Here we go. There it is. Right. Awesome. So there's Kirill's fight music. What do you think?
Very nice. Yeah, I like it.
Awesome.
There's a couple of points I was going to mention, but I was just listening to it instead. So, yeah.
That's a good sign, probably, right?
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely.
You just get kind of lost into it. That's fantastic. And Kirill, like any other VGM Academy member, they are potentially going to be joining you for a masterclass next weekend to
Great
get
stuff.
some critiques on their music. So it might be Kirill, it might be someone else in the community. But if anyone is interested in throwing their hat in the ring to possibly be selected for that, you can go ahead to the website at the bottom of the screen, vgmacademy.com/free, and you can join up for free for a month and get in on the action, hopefully. Because I think this is a great opportunity for anyone looking to improve as a composer or break into the industry. So,
yeah, I think with most of these things, it's I mean, it's great to hear things that have been done in a very short space of time. you can get quite a lot of work done in 1 or 2 hours, but then getting it finished can take weeks. So it's quite difficult at that point. And really, for things to get noticed, it comes down to the instrumentation and the mix. So that even though the idea is great, putting it into a presentable package that is going to get people's notice is the key to it all, really.
Yeah, and especially I know that the mix, it's like such a hard thing to really nail because everyone's tastes are a little different and everyone's setup is a little different, and what people are actually going to be listening to it on the game is a little different. So
absolutely. So if you can listen to it on as many different things, and I always find if even if I've mixed, I've got some very nice speakers here, but sometimes the best mix is just to go into the other room and listen to it there, and it just shouts out things that you missed because when you're in your room, you've got your speakers, you're focused on what you're listening to. When you mix passively, where you're not trying to concentrate exactly on what's happening, that's a really good way to listen to a mix as well, because things just pop out. We can't really hear the lead now, or something's way too loud.
yeah, I'd imagine that especially things on the low end would either really pop or not pop if you're try to listen through the wall, because either they're going to really carry like a lot, and you're like, or maybe a better way to say it is, and this is just me guessing for what that's worth, is I know that whenever I'm hearing someone blasting music from another room, I'm either really noticing like the drums and bass, or I'm really noticing kind of just that the whole thing is loud. So I feel like that would be, I don't know, would that be really helpful for specifically the lower or the higher end, or do you feel like it's just kind of generally very informative?
Just generally very informative, but yeah, I mean, the trouble is with different keys and rooms, depending on how big they are going to have a different resonance, aren't they? So depending on the material you've written, it's always going to sound slightly different at volume.
Awesome. Well, that's a great trick. So
yeah, and just trying it on as many devices as possible, really. Putting it in the car, that's always quite useful.
Yeah, I had a buddy who always would before his final mix, he would listen to it on like the out of the box Apple and like back then iPod headphones that would just come included, just to hear what that would sound like, and then go back in and do his final work, just to kind of get an idea what people will probably be listening to his music on.
Yeah, so. it's a good bit of advice, that.
Awesome. Well, let me see if I think we're still having problems with the Twitter track. It's still not pulling through. So we're going to go ahead and send out the link to that one later. So Isaac's really fun combat track, we'll have to listen to at another time as a community. But for now, we'll just keep on rolling with Travis Sullivan. We are moving forward to day 4 now, the Dark Queen. And a few very different entries for this day. So really, really excited to hear what you think. Here is Travis's Dark Queen.
There we go. That's quite different, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm a stickler for those types of sounds, the old analog type things, and the I think the thing to remember with analog sounds is that when they sound great on their own, if you stick too much in the mix, it can soon lose it and get all muddy and very confused. So it's very good just to hear 2 or 3 different main sounds, because otherwise it can soon get lost and very muddy.
Yeah, and I also just really liked the base musical material there. I mean, that was for me, was a very I'm in charge vibe. If I saw a character walking onto the screen with that music playing, I would feel very much like that was the person probably calling the shots, no matter what else was kind of going around. But excellent. I mean, really fun track, Travis. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, and it's nice to hear something where somebody's taking a bit of a risk as well. That's always, sometimes they work, sometimes they fail, but it's definitely worth the punt, and that was good.
Yeah, awesome. There are a lot of people who go off prompt for these challenges as well, and I really think that's a great idea. Anything that these are just there, like I said, to promote creativity. So if something else pops out that day, I think it's always a great idea to embrace it and run with it and see what comes out.
Oh yeah, you've really got to grab the moment, because it's never going to come back again. So if something's working, just go with it. Absolutely.
Yes.
And if it's not working,
yeah, my iPhone Memos app, I always tell them, capture as much as you can, because I was just looking through the day. I've got things from 2015 in there, and if I hadn't just when that happened, it would be gone forever. So, all right, here is another Day 4 Dark Queen entry by Chloe Song. And this one we pulled from over on Twitter. Here we go with Chloe's Day 4 Dark Queen.
Again, another commanding track, I thought. I like it sounded quite regal as well, so it definitely sounds as queenish.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Again, for me, I don't know if I was expecting anything in particular for this day, but I felt like some of these tracks that we're going to be listening to, like this one, I was not expecting something like this, but when I heard it, I thought it was a really, really enjoyable take on the prompt.
I think the bare bones of it has got some very nice composition in it. It would be really nice to hear it developed and arranged.
Absolutely. Well, Chloe, you heard the man. Get to work. All right.
Yeah, and put some strings in there, because halfway through you're really expecting the main melody to go onto the strings, and that would really pull it out.
Yeah, and this was only 1 minute. I mean, if this you could stretch this out way further than that too. I mean, and
indeed. I mean, it's great to hear raw ideas like this. I think again, I do a sort of similar thing every day. I'll just sketch an idea for an hour, and most of them sit on a hard drive forever. But there are ones that you dig out again, and I think that would be definitely worth digging out and taking further. That one.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that it's also really commendable for all these composers to be putting out these ideas.
Yes.
As I mean, many of them are sketches, and they're not ready to drop in a game, of course, because you did them in a day. And I think that showing like the bravery to not only put that music out there for the world, but also having me saying via email that I might feature it on a live stream. I think that's incredibly brave of people, and I think that a really good growth mentality to be comfortable with putting your music out there and having it listened to.
Completely. I mean, those sketches are really important, and even if it's a sketch now, how it sounds when you've actually developed and finished it might be completely different. It might just be the spur, the catalyst to something totally different in the end.
Well, I'm really excited to hear how hopefully some of these tracks get developed and finished, and we get to hear the completed versions someday. So we're going to do our last day 4 track here. And David, I know that you said that you have a bill until now.
I'm going to stick around for another 10 or 15 minutes if that's okay. So
you are free to stay. I think I'll let you stick around for as long as you'd like. Alrighty, so this next one, another very this is all right, I almost jumped ahead of myself here. So this is Vincent's day 4 track. Now, Vincent, if you're out there, when Vincent has participated in these challenges before, and when my wife saw that you had participated in this one, she apparently missed your music quite a lot and had a very strong reaction, and was super excited. So you've got a fan. Here we go. Here is Vincent's Shadow Overhead track, his Dark Queen prompt. Here we go.
Yeah, another good track that sets the scene, and it's just ripe for some further development. But I think it instantly puts you in the space where you need to be. It says, this is it's mean, and perhaps if it was a little more sinister, that'd be great. But as it is, it still works.
Excellent. People are in the chat saying that they're having a great time, and I am as well. And hopefully people watching the replay later are having as much fun as we are, because this is just always, it's always great. I do these every month by myself. It's great to have someone such as yourself who just has such experience and a different perspective other than mine, because, for what it's worth, and I remind people, I am not a working composer. I try my best to help the community and gather resources and bring in people like yourself. So it's super valuable to have someone such as yourself really, present.
Well, thank you for inviting me. So,
yeah, anytime.
I think that the other thing as well that's probably worth mentioning is that I still feel as though I'm winging it every day. It doesn't feel like there's a preset plan. It's just see where it goes. Every day is different.
That's good to hear, and I'm sure that probably makes people feel better, because better and worse. And that one hand, that feeling that maybe never goes away. But on the other hand, I think that's really great to hear, because I think that it's just part of the process.
Oh, completely. Yeah. Some days work, some days don't. It's all a bit hit and miss.
Now, this next one is actually one of my favorites from the whole challenge, and part of it is because it was so unexpected. But it actually kind of gave me sort of a tragic villain, sort of like a villain you could really sympathize with kind of feeling. And also, anytime anyone puts their vocals in, I am especially excited, for one, because I'm a vocalist, but also because I feel like that's always especially brave of people to put their vocals out there and their live performance out there. So this is Ryan Pust. This is his Dark Queen. Let me just cue it up here real quick. All right, here we go.
It's definitely nice to hear some vocals. It puts a different perspective on everything. And I like the way 60% of the way through it suddenly, upped it as well, because that's always nice to hear a progression.
Yeah. It gave me sort of that feeling of like when you have a story where you've finally beaten the villain, but then in those last moments, you get a different perspective on how villainous maybe they really were, and how maybe with a different perspective, you could sympathize with them more. And now it's kind of a tragedy that the villain has been defeated. So I really loved this one a lot.
Yeah, it's different. I think another thing that's worth pointing out as well, with the vocal aspect, all of my melodies, although most of them are instrumental, they do have a vocal element there originally, although nobody's ever heard it. I can't really sing very well. It sounds terrible, but they would have had a lyric that you could sing. And I think that's really important for instrumental lines, especially woodwind and brass, is that the listener needs to breathe as well. So not just the performer. And if your melody doesn't have nice natural breaks in it, it's almost exhausting for the listener, because you can't breathe. You'll keel over if you don't stop that note and have a good breath. And I think when you listen to vocals, it does that for you, because you can't sing endlessly.
Yeah. What was it? Is it Stephen Sondheim's Sweeney Todd score? Where there's a specific song for the female lead where there's just literally there's just nothing in terms of places to breathe, and it is a super, super challenging one to sing.
Yes.
And it's always good to keep in mind, especially if you plan on having your music played by a live performer someday, keep in mind the physical limitations of humans.
That's right.
As well as the instruments, but
especially with loud brass. If you're pumping out loud brass, then that really does take a lot out of a brass player.
Yeah. Nobody wants the tuba player to pass out. It's super awkward.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So love that one. We're going to move on to day 5 now. Day 5's prompt, this is the tunnel chase prompt. And if I recall correctly, a couple of these are a little bit, this is like where a couple of people sort of went a little bit off sort of the prompt and just kind of embraced what came out that day, which is awesome. But here is, if I'm remembering correctly, here is Austin Smith's post from Instagram. We're just pulling from all over the internet today. Here's his day 5. Well, muting's not fun. Let's try that again. Let's try it again.
Pesky internet never works when you really need it.
There we go. Oh.
It's not happy, is it?
It's definitely not happy. Let's see. One more try. Really not liking the social media today. That's interesting. Very, very choosy there. Well, if I try this and then... All right. I think we're good now. Here we go. Oh, you know what's probably happening? Let me try that again. I'm going to remove the whole thing and put it back in. I think I switched the tab and made it unhappy. Here we go. Take 5. Oh. Bummer. All right, we might have to come back to that one. So I'll save that in the wings for a couple moments, see if I can let it buffer, let it get happy again. And we'll go on to Mike Matarazzo over on SoundCloud. So let's pull up Mike's here over on SoundCloud, and we'll just jump right in. Here we go. Tunnel Chase.
Yeah. It definitely feels a bit desperate there, doesn't it?
It does. Definitely nailed the urgency.
Indeed. And that was it. I can remember playing the original Battletoads game. That tunnel chase was just impossible. Felt a bit like that.
Yeah, for me, I was just really bad at that style of game in general. So I probably never even got to that level.
No, it was desperately hard. I used to have to play over and over and over and over and over again before I could complete it.
Well, we'll just have to have you on a live stream one day where we make you play that, and we
No,
can just.
I'm terrible at playing games. That's the problem. I always get my son to play it for me if I'm doing something where I need to get through something. He's very good.
Oh, I'm sure that's probably you probably have to really. You wouldn't have to twist my arm. I'll put it that way to do that. So I found Austin's on SoundCloud, so I'm gonna pull it up here so we can give his track a listen for sure. We don't want to miss it. So here is Austin's Tunnel Chase theme. Here we go. Well, I'm quite glad that we found that one to play.
It's very Nico McBain on the drums there.
I loved the double guitar lead.
Yes, indeed. Some nice melodies there, and the harmonies were very well executed too. The drums were a bit messy in places, as in they weren't quite keeping time, and that's the one thing that you really do need to. I mean, it's lovely to have it sound as though it's played, but that's perhaps a tiny bit too played, especially when the guitars as well were so tight and on it. They were excellent the way they chugged away in time at that speed.
Perfect feedback. That's great. So yeah, I mean, I think that that is one of my favorite kinds of like sort of treatments of this genre myself, of having that like just purely like rock like sound, having those double guitars. And I completely agree with you about the drums. Drum programming is always something that seems to be so tricky to get right when you're programming the drums, because you've got to walk that fine line, it seems like, of making it sound not making it sound exciting, but also not making it sound sterile. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm using the right words, but yeah, that balance of making it sound human enough, but not making it sound not going too far with it.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, drum programming. I think it always helps if somebody's been a drummer for a few years, because they can have a bit more insight into what you can do to make it sound convincing, but still holding down a good beat. I think the drum parts there are very good. They just needed tightening up, and there's sometimes a good cause for perhaps using a bit of quantizing, just because it makes it easier then for the guitarist to play along to.
Well, thanks so much for the feedback. I want to be respectful of your time, David. I think we're at the top of that 15 minutes that you said.
I'll probably four more minutes, and then I better go because there'll be kids who need my attention.
Excellent. Can't keep the kids waiting. All right. Well, that's good. We got one more. This is another Catherine Capozzi, actually. So super. If again, Michelle is asking me in the comments if I plotted against by having everyone play electric guitars, and that's partly true. But this was another one that really kind of subverted the genre a little bit in terms of like what people maybe would expect. And it was just, this is a super fun one for Tunnel Chase. All right, let's give it a listen. Here we go. There we go.
There we go, indeed.
Absolutely. A little
different. I think it's nice that it is slightly different. That's always good. It's good to have another perspective on it. I think if it was me, I'd be putting a few more descending runs in it just to give that times running out kind of experience. But it's good to hear a different character to it.
Yeah, I had mentioned this in an email earlier this week to the community that with either a character, set of characters that are, less serious, obviously, cartoon salamanders, it's not, ultra realistic. It's definitely way more fun. And having like a more fun styled game, you can kind of bend the genre sometimes and get away with it. I was reminded of, I think it was Ghostbusters 2 on the original Nintendo, where you had like most of the gameplay had like the regular Ghostbusters theme song, but then whenever you had a car chase, which were impossible levels to beat. I mean, it was like level 2 was a car chase. I never got past it, maybe once, and it was 12-bar blues, and it was super fun. And it sped up as it went, but it was very different than what I would have expected from like a car chase. But it totally worked and it held up.
Yeah, and with the last one as well, that kind of jazzy vibe. The nod to it as well is quite cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think that actually would be really good in a very difficult level because you've got to keep it a little fun and a little light so that no one throws a controller at the screen.
Yes, indeed. And I think music as well, you can be a bit cheeky with it, can't you? You can eke out a few cliches and just play on them, just even if it's for your own amusement.
Totally.
So let's have listen to one more and then I'm going to say good evening.
Alrighty, so this is our last Tunnel Chase, day 5 here today. This is from Alex Palmatier. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And this is their day 5. Here we go.
So I think the one thing I really liked about that was the way it had those ding, 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 and it's just breaking. That it's like a continuous thing in a tunnel chase anyway. You can't let go, but sometimes it's just nice to have a gap, isn't it? And then it just sets you back up, and then you're off again. So I think gaps like that, those accents work quite nicely.
Yeah, I found myself like doing this like I was playing the piano on the table there, like whenever that figure came up. So whenever you've got someone physically engaged like that, I feel like that's probably a pretty good cue. And just to, like you said, give things a little bit of space.
Yeah, it's very hard to do because you can get really wrapped up. I'm very guilty of it myself. You get wrapped up in it, and you've got this idea of where you want to take it. But sometimes it's just nice to give something a bit of space, even if it's a bar. The music's still going on; it's just kind of falling away, and then it gives you the chance to put a nice transition in to come back again. But it takes a bit of perspective and walking away from it for a while before you get to that kind of intelligence to do that. So and again, I find it very hard to do that and be analytical myself about my own work.
I think that's just sort of part of the gig with the creative, mind space. You've got the editor and you've got the creator, and they share the same head.
They do.
So
sometimes not very successfully, in my case, but it's all part of the fun, I guess.
yes, indeed. Well, David, thank you so much for spending some time with us this afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the world.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much to everybody for sharing your work and letting me hear your creative ideas. I think it's quite a personal thing, isn't it? So it's it's an honor to hear them.
Thank you, and we really look forward to seeing you next Sunday for the masterclass. If you, I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. If you want to know how you can get an opportunity to have a little bit of face-to-face time on the air with David to have him talk to you about your music, please stick around to the end. But David, thank you so much for your time today, and I really am excited for your project, Salamandos. Go to the URL at the bottom there, and we'll see you next weekend, hopefully.
Brilliant. Lovely. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Cheers.
have a lovely day. I'll talk to you soon.
You.
Bye.
Cheers.
All right. Man, David Wise, everyone. Love it. So hopefully you're all having as much fun as I am. A lot of messages in the chat. I'm just going to screenshot some of all of these thank yous from all over the internet here, from Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. Just always really, this is such a great community of people here listening with us, but also everyone in the community who I've had a chance to work with in this fashion, like with David, or in some other capacity, whether I'm interviewing them or what have you. Everyone's just so nice and humble and just very gracious with their time and their expertise. So I can't be more grateful to be part of this amazing community. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us today. We've got a little bit more music for you. And then again, if you don't know, if you've been missing me harassing you via email, then I will tell you at the end how you can get your music in the running for a limited number of slots to have David listen to your track live on the air and talk to you directly about your music and give you some more in-depth critique. So I'm super excited. So here we go. We're going to move right along to day 6. Day 6. Now, this was inspired David. Hey, thank you, everyone. Yeah, I love this community. Look at how nice everyone is. Hey, thank you, Jessica. Everyone's songs were amazing. Absolutely. Isaac, Twitter was being a little weird. Actually, maybe what I'll do is let's see, can I force? I might lose connection for a moment. Let me just see if I can force things to go a little bit better connection-wise on my end. What I'm going to do is, let's see here. Bummed you missed day 6, Mike. You didn't miss day 6. You nailed day 1 through 5. All right? You did more days than someone who didn't show up to bat. So keep that in mind. If you miss a day, it's okay. Nobody's fired. Nobody's fired here. All right, let's see if I can. I'm going to try Isaac's track again because we couldn't load it during day 3. But let's see. Maybe we'll pop back over to day 3 for Isaac's track. See if it's going to be doing any better for us right now. Let's see. Okay. If I lose you, I'll be right back. All right, so I think we are back. Are we back now? We good? Everyone can see and hear? Give me some emojis in the chat if we're back and ready to rock here. Looks good to me on my end, but I want to make sure that everyone else can hear. Freeze frame, roll credits. Don't roll the credits. We're not done yet. Okay. Looks like Twitter is still... Yep, Twitter is still struggling. Isaac, if you've got a... Oh, you got your SoundCloud right there. Let me just pull it over from SoundCloud. Here we go. Excellent. All right, let's see. Do you have it on SoundCloud? I don't see it. Isaac, send me the link, and if I can, I'll pop it in there. I don't see it on SoundCloud. That's okay. All right, cool. So we'll keep rolling. Isaac, if you email it to me, dan@vgmacademy.com, I will try to pop it in here. Let's keep it rolling, though. We're going to move right along to our day 6, and hopefully we can circle back to Isaac's in a bit. This is inspired by the tower climb level, which is the last level leading up to the boss fight in the original Battletoads game. If you've never looked at it, I would check it out because it's got a very, very cool look at gameplay videos. It has a very clever gameplay mechanic that they exploit to kind of give you the sensation that you're going around a circular tower as you climb up it, which if you've never played the original Nintendo, that would have been very difficult to pull off without being extremely clever because the system was just super, super limited. So here we go. Here is Nile with day 6, and this is titled Ebony and Ivory Tower. Let's see. There it is. There it is. There it is. Here we go. Super fun. I think that this one has a lot of potential and definitely should be taken and fully orchestrated and or played by live musicians in a rock band format, however you're thinking about it. But I think that this one has a lot of compositional meat that you can then use. Excuse me. Whew. Muted just in time for that one. But I think that was a really fun one. And again, it's just when you hear the sketch version of these, for me, my mind I just hear all these potential directions that you could jump into. It could be really exciting to hear a few different versions of some of these sketches even. All right, so there is Nile. Thank you so much, Nile, for that awesome tune. This next one is from a new member in the community who is also here among us in the chat today. This is from Virginia, Leo, and this is her Tall Tower. Here we go. and I just wanted to keep going, and I just wanted to keep going and going and going. That was very like that made me feel like I was building up to like a really intense moment in a movie or something like that. And I think if you just kept on going with that vibe and then threw in a really kicking melody, I think that would be an amazing piece. So really awesome job with the production, and the intro for this is really fun. So nice job, Virginia. And we're going to move right along to day 7. Yeah, look at this. We got people showing the love in the chat. That build was so good. Yes, took its time. Very, very good. Love the strings and synths. Very dramatic, very cool, very cinematic. Yes, absolutely. Cool. Love it. Awesome. Here we go. Oh, and there's Virginia. There she is. She's still here. Fantastic. You're welcome. Thank you for joining our community and participating in the challenge. All right. So next, we're going to go to another new member who goes by Sound Engraver, a.k.a. Michelle. This is day 7 now. This is our first. Let me see if I can get the SoundCloud. I'm not going to trust Twitter. I'm going to jump right over SoundCloud and try to grab it from there real quick. Twitter's betrayed us all today. So this day 7, this was the big bad guy or gal theme song. This was the final boss. And once again, really fun, different takes on it. I think that here we go. I think this is it. Cool. I think I found it. Oh, maybe I didn't. All right. I'm going to pull it from the members network then. And that was in there. Okay. I don't want to miss too many of these tracks just because Twitter's just not playing nice today. Hey, there she is. Excellent. Michelle is among us. And Michelle, if you have, let's see, I'm going to try to pull the track. I pulled the Twitter link and Twitter's not playing nice. So let's see if I can find it. There's your day 7. Got it. Cool. All right. I've got your YouTube link. I'll use that. Alrighty. So I'm going to pop this in the chat in just a moment. But first, let me get it up on the screen and I will drop this link since this one will work a little bit better. Here is Michelle's day 7 track for Big Baddie. Oh, let me start the screen share. That'd be helpful if it's not just me listening to it. And yeah, welcome new members. Thank you, Mark, another fantastic member of our community. If you're not part of this community, get in on it. We're a good group of people. Love those folks. I love you all, but we have a really good time with our roundtables and our live expert sessions. Here we go. Here is Michelle's day 7. No, what is going on today? Everything but SoundCloud is not happy. Oh my goodness. What is going on? So strange. It's only buffering the first. It's only buffering up to here. Very strange. Let me see if I can. And it's doing it at 360 quality. That's not cool. Let's try 720. All right. I'm going to throw something at the internet real quick. My browser cache. I have not tried to clean up my browser cache. No, I have not. Interesting. Okay. All right, I'm going to try something here. Dan, I broke. Every time I get on here, I feel like I break the internet in some new and exciting way. So, very, very frustrating. Sorry about that, folks. Let me try a couple of things here real quick. And while I do this, I'm going to, let's just not rename it SoundCloud Academy. No, thank you. Especially since they came so close to bankruptcy last So let's see here. All right. So, no, that's not going to work. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Try again here. Very strange. Okay. What I'll do is I will try this. Because I'm getting the same issue in both of my browsers. So I don't think it's a browser caching problem. Might just be my ISP, in which case I'm kind of stuck. I'll let it buffer for a moment to see if YouTube gets a little happier. But yeah, at least I didn't get. Yep. So thank you for your understanding. But yes, it happens often. At least I didn't get booted this time. And the weird thing is I'm on Ethernet now, so I don't. Earlier when I had accidentally started on Wi-Fi, I wouldn't be shocked. But maybe social media is getting hacked. It's true. It could be possible. You never know. So I'm going to let this, it looks like it's slowly loading over on YouTube, so I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm going to come back to it hopefully in just a moment. In the meantime, let's see if we can listen to, we're going to test it out. Mike Klaczynski, we're going to try to see how good old Instagram's going to treat us here. See if it's going to play nicer for us here. Here we go. Be nice, Instagram. We love you somewhat. Okay. Here we go. Here is Mike's day 7. Well, that's not helpful. VGM Academy members will know exactly what I'm about to say about that. I loved the, wait for it, melody. That was awesome. Super fun. I loved that it set up this harder rock instrumentation, and it threw in like a marimba in there. I think it was a marimba. It threw that in there and made it was like a really fun choice. I wasn't expecting it, but it worked really, really well. Yes, very cool tune, or as Austin would say, woo! Yeah, totally. Loved it. Sounds like a cross between F-Zero X and Mega Man. Okay, yeah. Double kick, totally. Love the double kicks. Yeah. Oh, lots of people like that kick. Damn that double kick. Love the kick drum there. Kick drum's got some fans. All right. Oh, there's Michael. He's there. Thanks, everyone. Hey, thank you for your music and your participation. Really cool, really fun. Michael had a lot of awesome tracks. His day 1 especially was really really kicking. So go check that out. But here, okay, Michelle's it's getting there. It's almost there. I'm gonna let it. Maybe hopefully in a minute it will be ready. Fotis just keeps wanting to rename the VGM Academy to whatever we're talking about at the time. So now he's gonna call it Kick Drum Academy. You want to go start that one? That's all you, buddy. I'll let you have that one. Kicking. I see what you did there. All right, cool. All right, we're going to move on to Peter Gresser. This is Peter's day 7 over on SoundCloud, thankfully, for now. And this is another one that was kind of like not quite what I would have expected, but I could definitely see it working in some situations. And if nothing else, it's a fun piece of music. Here we go. It'd be helpful if I added it to the stream instead of just me bopping my head here. This probably would be. There it is. Look at that. Here we go. Here's Pete's music for real. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Love those claps all day long. So fun. Love the bass in that. I really enjoyed the just overall feel. It's, again, not what I would have expected for a final boss theme, but either way, I really loved the direction that it ended up going. Super fun piece of music. I love the guitar riffs, and I really liked the bass line was just like something I would be probably singing along to, probably even more than the guitar, because when you've got a really cool bass line, for me anyways, it's really tempting to just sing that along with it. Just sing along with that for the whole time. It's just a lot of fun. So nice job. Alrighty, let's see. We're gonna check out how we doing here with Michelle's track is. Oh dear, Michelle, do you have a SoundCloud link that I could steal from you? If you do, and if you want to send it to me either in the network or via email, I would definitely play that. Hopefully, we can get this working before the end. We're gonna move right along to Stefan's track. Hopefully, I'm saying this last name correctly. Stefan Nedikoven. And Stefan, just click something. What did I do? All right, I'm good. And Stefan is another new member of the Academy. So, Stefan, thank you so much for joining us. We're super excited to have you. I see that Jordan has joined us recently as well, which is awesome. Welcome, Jordan. And we're super excited to have you both, as well as all of our other new members, John, Josh, Virginia, Michelle, Zachary, and Sebastian. Welcome to the crew, and thank you so much for joining us. Sorry, don't worry about it, Michelle. It's not you; it's the internet. That's the problem. And it's probably my internet specifically. That's really the problem here. So let's go ahead and listen to Stefan's Day 7 while I continue to try to get Michelle's track to load. Here we go. Where are you? Where'd my window go? I got that guitar riff stuck in my head now, even though after saying I would have sang the bass line. Now I've got that da-na-na-na stuck in my head from that last track. All right, here we go. Here is Stefan's. For me, I love those electric guitar slides in there. Oh, there was a Stephen Rado that just came up next. I love those electric guitar slides and bends in there. Those are fun. Really reminded me of Mega Man X2, which is one of my that series very near and dear to me. A lot of folks say they gave them some Castlevania vibes. I can get that too, totally. Definitely reminds me of Castlevania, like a rockier Castlevania, if that makes sense. It does make sense. You have given Michael life, which is an awesome gift to give someone. So nice. An awesome melody, I agree. Very catchy melody, very nostalgic melody. Totally agree. Awesome, cool. So let's see here. We've got, I think we've got most of Michelle's track loaded. So let's see. We're going to give this another shot. We're going to see if this works. If not, then I'll just scream for an entire minute straight, and you can enjoy that. I'm just kidding. I probably won't scream. Here we go. We made it through the whole track. Amazing. Oh, that was fun. Oh, that was a great time. Lots of love in the comments for that one. Yukon says they're super pumped up. Oh, and Jessica is asking, Michael, you do 2-hour tracks on Sundays. If that's true, you should drop a link. Very nice progression, says Kirill. So energetic. Lots of love for that one. I'm really glad that we were able to get that to work for the stream. So thank you so much. Awesome. Thanks for hanging with me on that one, folks. I really wanted to make sure that we got that one out, and I'm still upset that we didn't get Isaac's out. So I'll maybe try that one more time before we go here. All right, so here is our last track for the day. This is from Cody Mitchell, and this is his day 7. It's on Instagram, so now I'm getting nervous. I'm going to get a little nervous. Let me see if I can grab it from his SoundCloud instead, because that'll make me feel better. Let's see. I don't see it on the SoundCloud. So we'll just do our best here with Instagram and hope for the best. Here we go. Big Baddie, Cody Mitchell. Oh, he pulled out the 7-string for this one. Getting fancy. Here we go. I just noticed that I'm muted. Thanks so much. Well, I just said a lot of really important and impressive things, so sorry you missed them. There's really intense and introspective things. Mostly, though, I was just kind of reading out loud your comments because there's a lot of love for this track, and it's well-deserved. I think the 7-string was an awesome choice. It sounded great, and I really like that muted intro that led into the more open rock sound later on. Really cool. Nice effect. Nice job. So thanks so much, folks. This was a long stream. Yeah, I told you the secret while I was muted. This was a long stream. It went 2 hours. They usually ran it at about an hour and a half. Thank you so much for sticking with it. I had a great time listening to all your music and hanging out in the comments and just being together. And I loved having David here with us today, and I hope you did as well. It was super gracious of him to spend his Saturday evening with us and just listening to all of your amazing music, because you deserve to have it listened to. It is just fantastic to have that opportunity, and I'm really excited to have a small handful of our members in the Members Network next Sunday join us and David live, where they will actually be, those composers will be on the stream with David, and I will be getting out of the way so that he can talk to you directly about your music and you can talk to him. So really excited. If you want to know more about how to get your music in that masterclass, get yourself in that masterclass, please consider joining the Members Network. I'm going to put it up big on the screen here. Let's see here. Let's see. Boom. A little bigger, man. There we go. Cool. So you can join the Members Network for free and try it out for a month. And this is a great time to do it. I obviously cannot guarantee that everyone's going to get in the master classes. There's probably going to be a lot of people trying to get in. But it's going to be an opportunity only open to members to get into the masterclass with David. Anyone will be allowed to watch it. It'll be a publicly broadcasted masterclass, so if you would like to just watch, you are totally able to do that. But aside from this benefit of getting the possibility of having your track not only listened to by David, but critiqued live and be able to talk to him about your track live on the air, which I think is a really, really, really awesome opportunity for anyone trying to get into the business. I think that there's just so many other benefits to joining, and I really hope that you consider it, because we have a great group of people. It's a really tight-knit community. We've got a lot of members in the comments right now. We have Mike, we have Jessica, we've got oh my goodness, how many? We have like a lot of. Let's see, we have Kirill, we've got I know South Virginia, we've got Austin. We have Steven, who was here, I think, earlier. I'm not sure if he's still around. Fotis, so many. Michelle, we've got so many awesome members. I know I'm not listing all of you. Catherine was here earlier, I think, too. A lot of folks here, and it's just a great community. If you want to learn more and learn from each other and build some connections within the community, this is a great place to start. We get together twice a month for member roundtables, and we get on a Zoom where we privately listen to each other's tracks and we give each other like really detailed feedback, which is really incredible to help improve your music. And then we also have experts joining us monthly. We've experimented with this masterclass format a couple of times, so we'll do that every now and then as well. But we also have sometimes some private Q&As. We've got an orchestration class that Penka Kuniva is going to be doing soon, which is awesome. And it's just a great place. It's a great place, and we hope you decide to join us. So, is there a Discord for this channel or something? Broken Guitar String. There is a Discord. I think the link actually broke on the website. Someone just told me, so I will. If you email me, I will email you back the Discord link. Because I think the link on the website broke for some reason. So I'll fix it, and in the meantime, if you want to email me, I'll send you the link to the Discord. Yes, please, hopefully you join us. Members, if you're listening, I will be posting probably tomorrow. I'll be posting details about how to throw your hat in the ring and nominate yourself to get your music featured in that masterclass and get yourself into that masterclass so you can talk to David about your music. Really excited for you. I'm really excited for that opportunity for some of you. And thank you again for this awesome community. That's it for today. We'll send the links out to all these tracks later on. Have a great weekend, everyone. And I can't wait to see you next Sunday. Stay tuned to your inbox for more details, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.